when we compare this to kind of the general markets. Do you not press record?
Hi there, and welcome to the first ever episode of CryptoTime. My name's Antonio Shillingford, and I'm here with James Coughlan. We're both portfolio managers here at Bitstocks. We've been here for about 2 years now, so we've seen a lot of peaks and troughs. Of course, last year was very brutal, which I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me there.
Yeah, it certainly was.
So the whole purpose of this CryptoTime segment is to quite simply answer questions from the community. So the first few episodes, we are going to be addressing a few of the questions that we actually think we should start off with. Then from there on, the community will actually get involved, and then we'll just start handling those questions in a very vanilla way. So the first topic is quite simply, have I missed the boat on Bitcoin?
Simple answer to this one is no, you haven't. The reason being is that we have seen a lot of money wiped off of the market over the last 12 months or so. I don't want people to be deterred by this in any way, shape or form. The reason behind that is because actually we're now sitting in a far more stable situation than we were before. There was a lot of things that were going on which were crazy and very exciting to be involved in, but in the back of everyone's mind, it was kind of getting a little bit concerning and a little bit worrying. The fact that, for example, a company could come out with a white paper that was 6 pages long, raise millions of pounds off the back of it, and then not fulfill the duties that they said they were going to. I think this has caused people to kind of lose a little bit of confidence in the market. But now what we've seen is kind of regulation come into the space. We're not seeing it in full force yet, but we are starting to see kind of prerequisite of regulation coming into this space. So no, I don't think we've missed the boat at all. With the fact that we are now on a more stable platform, it's actually a very good time to actually start looking into crypto, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And towards the back end of 2017, that's when the boom really happened. I think people were just buying cryptocurrencies for completely the wrong reasons. They were buying it just purely for investment reasons. End of the day, this is meant to be a currency. We're meant to be using it and transacting, not buying and having this mentality of hodl. Because end of the day, it's meant to be a peer-to-peer transaction. I'm meant to send you something, you're meant to send me something. It's constantly moving. Transaction velocity is what actually gives these things true value. So if we're holding it, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I think the issue is when news and media come into play. I think we have to be real to the fact that these news and media outlets often have different agendas.
Yeah.
And the fact that people keep on pushing from one side, which is that the market's going to continue going up, gives people this kind of false hope that it's going to. Not only that, but there was a lot of things around the space at the time which did, make us even think the same thing, that the market was going to keep going. So it was very real and it was very kind of raw, and it still is, all of this information.
I agree.
But what we've learned from this, and what we've kind of gained and gripped from this, is that actually things don't always carry on the way that we thought they were. And what we have to do and what analysts have to do is realign themselves on a day-to-day basis. That is what I call wisdom. Looking at something that may have been something that was fantastic one day, taking a step back, looking at it from another direction and saying, actually, do you know what? As much as this was a good project, a year ago or 6 months ago or even a month ago, now things have changed and we need to change and adapt what we're doing. And I think that's something that is very kind of relevant to people that are looking to get involved and thinking that they've missed the boat. Is no, you haven't. But, the major thing is education here.
And to be honest with you, I actually think we're in a very good stage in crypto at the moment, because the honeymoon period's completely over. So the fact that all of these coins are being generated, people are making a lot of money off these particular coins, for the coins actually not having real use cases or any genuine transactions being pushed through them. So what's happening now is, even though the price points have been brutalized, we're now knuckling down and focusing and truly building on top of the cryptocurrencies that are important out there, because there shouldn't be 4,000 coins. There should only really and truly be, my personal opinion, one, but I do think there will maybe be a handful.
Yeah, I think the concern is, especially when you're talking about having multiple cryptocurrencies out there as well, is that there's going to be an amount of hashing power that's there. What I'd rather see is that denoted to one special chain or a couple of special chains, rather than having, say, 4,000 coins that are particularly weak in terms of the way that they operate, in comparison to having one robust chain which has hashing power that can secure it properly. And I think this is what we're going to see now, is we're going to start to see portfolios across the board start to consolidate down into the coins that really make sense. So no, I don't think we've missed the boat by any chance.
Now let's jump straight into the second question. What advice would you give someone looking into cryptocurrencies?
We touched on it in the previous answer, and it's in a nutshell. Education. This is the main thing. You need to understand what you're getting involved in before you do. This is not by any means some sort of get rich quick overnight scheme, which is touted throughout news and media. It's quite the opposite. And I think people have been woken up to that over the last 12 months. So it's about understanding what this technology can do. When you understand that, you can make it a much more informed decision whether this is the right thing for you to step into or not, rather than being in this position where the FOMO kicks in and you go, oh, I could be missing out on this or I could be missing out on that. It's about understanding it. And in my opinion, this technology is absolutely outstanding and the technology will transfer into price eventually, but we're not expecting this to just happen overnight. And I think this is the main part. If you understand the technology and follow the technology, that will transpire into value. But we're not looking for that to happen just overnight.
Yeah, 100%. And especially now we're in this phase where people are actually properly knuckling down, like I was saying in the previous one, you have a window. So you might as well spend that time, as opposed to just pumping your money in left, right, and center, is actually knuckling down, researching the true technology, and not just the technology behind it, but the token economics on how the whole system truly works, because it has to be harmonious for it to be something that is going to coexist and completely revolutionize the financial system that we have at the moment. So you may as well just knuckle down and educate yourself as much as you possibly can. So I completely agree with you that that is the most important thing out of everything, because we wouldn't have had that situation in 2017 if that was the case.
Yeah, 100%. I think what we should address now as well is how to go about doing that. There's a lot of different things out there. There's a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about. There's a lot of people that do know what they're talking about. So what we'd encourage you to do, for one, is we run a YouTube channel called Bitstocks TV. If you're watching this, most likely you've probably heard of it by now. But this is a great place to get knowledge from any level, whether it's super technical or whether it's kind of the real vanilla low stuff. We cater across the board to everybody. Yeah. And I think this is a great opportunity, as I said, for you guys to look into this and to see that, there is far more information from Bitstocks than, would normally come from a lot of firms. We believe that it's about building up the community. It's not all about just bringing clients on board. It's about educating the wider community, and that, in turn will work well for the whole space.
Yeah, we want to be a complete open book, and all the thoughts and ideas and research that we put in, this is the point where we're properly going to be delivering it. So all of our social media outlets, being YouTube, Instagram, our podcasts are going to go on Spotify and iTunes as well for the audio versions. So we are really and truly going to put our ideas out there, all the research and development that we've been putting in for the past few years. We're really going to start opening our mouths pretty much.
Yeah. And I think what you will see from watching our stuff is that we're not looking at it from a kind of cult-like view, that we believe in one side and that's it. What we try and do is encourage both sides, both parties to come in and explain what they have to say, so that we get the full picture rather than just the one we want to hear. And I think that's the major point to this as well.
Jumping on to question number 3.
Cool.
What do you think the cryptocurrency world looks like in the future?
It looks transparent. Something that we have lacked for years and years and years within the UK specifically, and pretty much across the globe, is transparency when it comes to finances. But what we also must remember is, cryptocurrency isn't just about finances. It can change absolutely everything. To give a silly example, let's imagine we're 20 years down the line. Autonomous vehicles are about. I grab out my phone and I say, right, I need to order, for example, an Uber or whatever the service is at the time. That Uber turns up, but hang on a minute, I'm 10, 15 minutes late to get to the airport. So how am I going to get there quicker? Well, the way that Bitcoin works is if I want to send a transaction from me to you quicker, I can just up the value that's there. So I can up the transaction fee. Well, now if we apply that same, knowledge and notion to actually the car sector itself, let's imagine we're in the fast lane and the person in front of us hasn't paid the same transaction fee at a higher level that we have. They will move out the way and we can steam past them. And these are the kind of things that we can see. So it's machine paying a machine, We get in that car. We need to get quicker. We need to speed up. We can also do that. We have so much scope for this technology and where it could go. I want to see government pick it up. Look at, for example, all these different things that we've seen. We have no transparency. We don't know where they're spending the money that we are working for to give to them. What I want to know is where every penny's going, and why should we be, stifled from this and covered away from it? It's not fair. Imagine now that they were doing this on a cryptocurrency, sector, and they were doing it on blockchain, and we had full sight of every single thing that they're doing throughout the whole process. That's where we gain, sovereignty, and that's where we gain our power back. That's the world that I want to see crypto come to.
We can hold them accountable for their actions as well. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But let's end it there. I think that was a very nice vanilla way of really tucking into this. So, of course, if you guys liked CryptoTime and liked the format, comment and subscribe. And of course, hit that thumbs up. We're going to be doing a lot more of these, so we're going to be delivering at least one episode a week from here on out, touching on various different topics. So, of course, exactly the same thing. If there's any particular topics that you guys want addressed, fire over the questions as much as you possibly can from any one of our social media outlets, or email over to us, and we'll make sure that we address them as soon as we possibly can. And of course, please do not take any of this as any form of financial advice. It's just our ideas, and of course the ideas that we share in general. So we promote every single individual. Any of the topics that we touched on, go away, do your own research, and of course if you agree, then you agree. If you disagree, we are more than happy for, of course, you to challenge our ideology, and then we'll just go from there. But if there's anything else that you want to say, James?
Just meetups. We've got, for example, meetup on the 15th, where yourself will be speaking in conjunction with CoinGeek as well. Really good place, as we've touched on education, to educate yourself further. I know I've had a brief look at the presentation you're going to be doing. So I'm excited to obviously that to happen. So the more of you that can get down there, to be honest with you, the better.
Perfect. Well, we'll end it there. So peace and love.